Hare Krishna. All right. Reading from the Bhagavad-Gita as it is. 10th chapter, beginning with text 15. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Swayam evatmanatmanam vetatvam purushottama bhuta bhavana bhutesha deva deva jagatpate. Okay, I was getting a professional nod. That was
Your voice sounds strong.
okay. Translation. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency, O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. Purport. The Supreme Lord Krishna can be known by persons who are in a relationship with him through the discharge of devotional service, like Arjuna and his followers. Persons of demonic or atheistic mentality cannot know Krishna. Mental speculation that leads one away from the Supreme Lord is a serious sin. And one who does not know Krishna should not try to comment on Bhagavad-Gita. Bhagavad-Gita is the statement of Krishna, and since it is the science of Krishna, it should be understood from Krishna as Arjuna understood it. It should not be received from atheistic persons. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Vedanti tat tatva vidas, tatvam yaj jnanam advayam, brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabhyate. The supreme truth is realized in three aspects, as impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and at last, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So at the last stage of understanding the absolute truth, one comes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A common man, or even a liberated man, who has realized impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma, may not understand God's personality. Such men, therefore, may endeavor to understand the Supreme Person from the verses of Bhagavad-Gita, which are being spoken by this person, Krishna. Sometimes the impersonalists accept Krishna. Get me some warm water. Not too hot. The kettle's in there, the water's in there. And drink a sip of it so that you get your cough under control at the same time. A common man, or even a liberated man who has realized impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma, may not understand God's personality. Such men, therefore, may endeavor to understand the Supreme Person from the verses of Bhagavad-Gita, which are being spoken by this person, Krishna. Sometimes the impersonalists accept Krishna as Bhagavan, or they accept his authority. Yet many liberated persons cannot understand Krishna as Purushottama, the Supreme Person. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Purushottama. Yet one still may not understand that Krishna is the father of all living entities. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Bhuta Bhavana. And if one comes to know him as the father of all living entities, still one may not know him as the Supreme Controller. Therefore, he is addressed here as Bhutesha, the supreme controller of everyone. And even if one knows Krishna as the supreme controller of all living entities, still one may not know that he is the origin of all the demigods. Therefore he is addressed herein as Deva Deva, the worshipful God of all demigods. And even if one knows him as the worshipful God of all demigods, one may not know that he is the supreme proprietor of everything. Therefore he is addressed as Jagatpati. Thus the truth about Krishna is established in this verse by the realization of Arjuna, and we should follow in the footsteps of Arjuna to understand Krishna as he is. What writing? Everything parallel, everything. The verse completely explained clearly. So nice. Passing these out. Oh. You'd never make a shortstop. No way. Text 16. Vaktum arhasya sheshena divya yatma vibhutayaha yabir vibhutibir lokan imangs tvam vyapyatishtasi. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. Purport. In this verse it appears that Arjuna is already satisfied with his understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. By Krishna's grace, Arjuna has personal experience, intelligence, and knowledge, and whatever else a person may have, and through all these agencies, he has understood Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For him there is no doubt. Yet he is asking Krishna to explain his all-pervading nature. People in general, and the impersonalists in particular, concern themselves mainly with the all-pervading nature of the Supreme. So Arjuna is asking Krishna how he exists in his all-pervading aspect through his different energies. One should know that this is being asked by Arjuna on behalf of the common people. Text 17. Katam vidyam aham yogins tvam sada parichintayan keshu keshu chabhaveshu chintyosi bhagavan maya. O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you? And how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? Purport. As it is stated in the previous chapter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is covered by his Yogamaya. Only surrendered souls and devotees can see him. Now Arjuna is convinced that his friend Krishna is the Supreme Godhead, but he wants to know the general process by which the all-pervading Lord can be understood by the common man. Common men, including the demons and atheists, cannot know Krishna because he is guarded by his Yogamaya energy. Again, these questions are asked by Arjuna for their benefit. The superior devotee is concerned not only for his own understanding, but for the understanding of all mankind. So Arjuna, out of his mercy, because he is a Vaishnava, a devotee, is opening for the common man the understanding of the all-pervasiveness of the Supreme Lord. He addresses Krishna specifically as Yogin because Sri Krishna is the master of the Yogamaya energy, by which he is covered and uncovered to the common man. The common man who has no love for Krishna cannot always think of Krishna. Therefore, he has to think materially. Arjuna is considering the mode of thinking of the materialistic persons of this world. The words Keshu, Keshu, Chabhavishu refer to material nature, the word bhava means physical things. Because materialists cannot understand Krishna spiritually, they are advised to concentrate the mind on physical things and try to see how Krishna is manifested by physical representations. 18. Vistarenatmano yogam vibhutim cha janardana bhuyak kataya triptirhi shrinvato nasti me mritam. O Janardhan, again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated hearing about you, for the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. Purport. A similar statement was made to Sutta Goswami by the rishis of Naimisharanya, headed by Shonaka. That statement is, Vayam tu na vitripyama uttama shloka vikrame yach chinvatam rasagyanam swadu swadu pade pade. One can never be satiated even though one continuously hears the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, who is glorified by excellent prayers. Those who have entered into a transcendental relationship with Krishna relish at every step the descriptions of the pastimes of the Lord. Thus Arjuna is interested in hearing about Krishna, and specifically how he remains as the all-pervading Supreme Lord. Now, as far as Amritam, nectar, is concerned, any narration or statement concerning Krishna is just like nectar. And this nectar can be perceived by practical experience. Modern stories, fiction, and histories are different from the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, in that one will tire of hearing mundane stories, but one never tires of hearing about Krishna. It is for this reason only that the history of the whole universe is replete with references to the pastimes of the incarnations of Godhead. The Puranas are histories of bygone ages that relate the pastimes of the various incarnations of the Lord. In this way, the reading matter remains forever fresh, despite repeated readings. Text 19. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Hantate Katayishyami Divya Yatma Vibhutayaha Pradhanyata Kuru Shrestha Nastyanto Vistarasya Me. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. Purport. It is not possible to comprehend the greatness of Krishna and his opulences. The senses of the individual soul are limited and do not permit him to understand the totality of Krishna's affairs. Still, the devotees try to understand Krishna, but not on the principle that they will be able to understand Krishna fully at any specific time or in any state of life. Rather, the very topics of Krishna are so relishable that they appear to the devotees as nectar. Thus the devotees enjoy them. In discussing Krishna's opulences and his diverse energies, the pure devotees take transcendental pleasure. Therefore, they want to hear and discuss them. Krishna knows that living entities do not understand the extent of his opulences. He therefore agrees to state only the principal manifestations of his different energies. The word pradhanyata, principle, is very important because we can understand only a few of the principal details of the Supreme Lord, for his features are unlimited. It is not possible to understand them all, and vibhuti, as used in this verse, refers to the opulences by which he controls the whole manifestation. In the Amara Kosha dictionary, it is stated that vibhuti indicates an exceptional opulence. The impersonalist or pantheist cannot understand the exceptional opulences of the Supreme Lord, nor the manifestation of his divine energies. Both in the material world and in the spiritual world, his energies are distributed in every variety of manifestation. Now Krishna is describing what can be directly perceived by the common man. Thus, part of his variegated energy is described in this way. Text 20. Aham atma gudakesha sarvabhutashayastitaha aham adish chamadhyam cha bhutanam anta eva cha. I am the Supersoul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Purport. In this verse, Arjuna is addressed as Gudakesha, which means one who has conquered the darkness of sleep. For those who are sleeping in the darkness of ignorance, it is not possible to understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests himself in various ways in the material and spiritual worlds. Thus, this address by Krishna to Arjuna is significant because Arjuna is above such darkness, the Supreme Person, the Personality of Godhead. Because Arjuna is above such darkness, the Personality of Godhead agrees to describe his various opulences. Krishna first informs Arjuna that he is the soul of the entire cosmic manifestation by dint of his primary expansion. Before the material creation, the Supreme Lord, by his plenary expansion, accepts the Purusha incarnations, and from him everything begins. Therefore, he is Atma, the soul of the Mahatattva, the universal elements. The total material energy is not the cause of the creation. Actually, Mahavishnu enters into the Mahatattva, the total material energy, and he is the soul. When Mahavishnu enters into the manifested universes, he again manifests himself as the Supersoul in each and every entity. We have experienced that the personal body of the living entity exists due to the presence of the spiritual spark. Without the existence of the spiritual spark, the body cannot develop. Similarly, the material manifestation cannot develop unless the Supreme Soul, Krishna, enters. As stated in the Subala Upanishad, Prakrityadi sarva bhutantar yami sarva sheshi chanarayanaha. The Supreme Personality of God is existing as the Supersoul in all manifested universes. The three Purusha avatars are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. They are also described in the Narada Pancharatra, one of the Satvata Tantras. Vishnu's two Trini Rupani Purushakyanyato Viduhu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests three features as Karnadakashayi Vishnu, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and Shirodakashayi Vishnu. In this material manifestation, the Mahavishnu or Karnadakashayi Vishnu is described in the Brahma Samhita. Yak Karanar Navajale Vajatis Payoga Nidram. The Supreme Lord Krishna is the cause of all causes, lies down in the cosmic ocean as Mahavishnu. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the beginning of this universe, the maintainer of the universal manifestations, and the end of all energy. Text 21. Adityanam aham Vishnur Jyotisham Ravyarang Shuman Marichir Marutam Asmi Nakshatranam Aham Shasi. Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of lights, I am the radiant sun. Of the Maruts, I am Marichi. And among the stars, I am the moon. Purport. There are 12 Adityas, of which Krishna is the principal. Among all the luminaries shining in the sky, the sun is the chief. And in the Brahma Samhita, the sun is accepted as the glowing eye of the Supreme Lord. There are 50 varieties of wind blowing in space. And of these winds, the controlling deity, Marichi, represents Krishna. Among the stars, the moon is the most prominent at night, and thus the moon represents Krishna. It appears from this verse that the moon is one of the stars. Therefore, the stars that twinkle in the sky also reflect the light of the sun. The theory that there are many suns within the universe is not accepted by Vedic literature. The sun is one, and as by the reflection of the sun, the moon illuminates, so also do the stars. Since Bhagavad-Gita indicates herein that the moon is one of the stars, the twinkling stars are not suns, but are similar to the moon. Text 22. Vidanam samavedosmi divanam asmi vasavaha indriyanam manaschasmi bhutanam asmi chetana. Of the Vedas, I am the Samaveda. Of the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind. And in living beings, I am the living force, consciousness. Purport. The difference between matter and spirit is that matter has no consciousness like the living entity. Therefore, this consciousness is supreme and eternal. Consciousness cannot be produced by a combination of matter. 23. Rudranam sankaraschasmi vitesho yaksharakshasam basunam pavakaschasmi meru shikarinam aham. Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of Wealth, Kuvera. And of the Vasus, I am fire, Agni. And of mountains, I am Meru. Purport. There are 11 Rudras, of whom Shankara, Lord Shiva, is predominant. He is the incarnation of the Supreme Lord in charge of the mode of ignorance in the universe. The leader of the Yakshas and Rakshasas is Kuvera, the master treasurer of the demigods, and he is the representation of the Supreme Lord. Meru is a mountain famed for its rich natural resources. Text 24. Buddhadasam chamukyam mam vidipartat brihaspatim sinani namaham skandak sarasam asmisagaraha. Of priests, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief, Brihaspati. Of generals, I am Kartikeya, and of bodies of water, I am the ocean. Purport. Indra is the chief demigod of the heavenly planets, and is known as the king of the heavens. The planet on which he reigns is called Indraloka. Brihaspati is Indra's priest, and since Indra is the chief of all kings, Brihaspati is the chief of all priests. And as Indra is the chief of all kings, similarly, Skanda, or Kartikeya, the son of Parvati, and Lord Shiva, is the chief of all military commanders. And of all bodies of water, the ocean is the greatest. These representations of Krishna only give hints of his greatness. 25. Maharshinam Briguraham Giram Asmyekamaksharam Yajnanam Japajagyopi Stavaranam Himalayaha. Of the great sages, I am Brigu. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names, Japa. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Purport. Brahma, the first living creature within the universe, created several sons for the propagation of various kinds of species. Among these sons, Brigu is the most powerful sage. Of all the transcendental vibrations, the Omkara represents Krishna. Of all sacrifices, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
is the purest representation of Krishna. Sometimes animal sacrifices are recommended, but in the sacrifice of Hare Krishna, there is no question of violence. It is the simplest and the purest. Whatever is sublime in the worlds is a representation of Krishna. Therefore the Himalayas, the greatest mountains in the world, also represent him. The mountain named Meru was mentioned in a previous verse, but Meru is sometimes movable, whereas the Himalayas are never movable. Thus the Himalayas are greater than Meru. Text 26. Ashvatak sarvavrikshanam devarshinam chanaradaha gandharvanam chitraratak siddhanam kapilo munihi. Of all trees, I am the banyan tree, and of the sages among the demigods, I am Narada. Of the Gandharvas, I am Chitrarata, and among perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. Purport. The banyan tree, Ashwatha, is one of the highest and most beautiful trees, and people in India often worship it as one of their daily morning rituals. Amongst the demigods, they also worship Narada, who is considered the greatest devotee in the universe. Thus he is the representation of Krishna as a devotee. The Gandharva planet is filled with entities who sing beautifully, and among them the greatest singer is Chitrarata. Amongst the perfect living entities, Kapila, the son of Devahuti, is a representative of Krishna. He is considered an incarnation of Krishna, and his philosophy is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Later on, another Kapila became famous, but his philosophy was atheistic. Thus, there is a gulf of difference between them. Text 27. Uchchai Shavasam Ashwanam Vidimam Amritodbhavam Airavatam Gajendranam Naranam Cha Naradipam. Of horses, know me to be Uchchai Shrava, produced during the churning of the ocean of nectar, for nectar. Produced during the churning of the ocean for nectar. Of Lord the elephants, I am Aravata, and among men, I am the monarch. Purport. The devotee demigods and the demons, asuras, once took part in churning the sea. From this churning, nectar and poison were produced, and Lord Shiva drank the poison. From the nectar were produced many entities, of which there was a horse named Uchchashriva. Another animal produced from the nectar was an elephant named Airavata. Because these two animals were produced from nectar, they have special significance, and they are representatives of Krishna. Amongst the human beings, the king is the representative of Krishna because Krishna is the maintainer of the universe, and the kings who are appointed on account of their godly qualifications are maintainers of their kingdoms. Kings like Maharaj Yudhishthir, Maharaj Parikshit, and Lord Rama were all highly righteous kings who always thought of the citizens' welfare. In Vedic literature, the king is considered to be the representative of God. In this age, however, with the corruption of the principles of religion, monarchy decayed and is now fully abolished. It is to be understood that in the past, however, people were more happy under righteous kings. 28. Ayudanam aham vajram denunam asmikamaduk prajanang chasmi kantarpa sarpanam asmi vasukihi. Of weapons I am the thunderbolt. Of cows I am the surabhi. Of causes for procreation I am Kandarpa, the god of love. And of serpents I am Vasuki. Purport. The thunderbolt indeed a mighty weapon, represents Krishna's power. In Krishna Loka, in the spiritual sky, there are cows which can be milked at any time, and they give as much milk as one likes. Of course, such cows do not exist in this material world, but there is mention of them in Krishna Loka. The Lord keeps many such cows, which are called Surabhi. It is stated that the Lord is engaged in herding the Surabhi cows. Kandarpa is the sex desire for presenting good sons. Therefore, Kandarpa is the representative of Krishna. Sometimes sex is engaged in only for sense gratification. Such sex does not represent Krishna, but sex for the generation of good children is called Kandarpa and represents Krishna. Text 29. Anantas chasminaganam varuno yadasam maham pitrinam aryama chasmi yamak sammayatam maham. Of the many hooded nagas, I am Ananta, and among the aquatics I am the demigod Varuna. Of departed ancestors, I am Aryama, and among the dispensers of law I am Yama, the Lord of Death. Purport. Among the many hooded naga serpents, Ananta is the greatest, as is the demigod Varuna among the aquatics. They both represent Krishna. There is also a planet of Pitas, ancestors, presided over by Aryama, who represents Krishna. There are many living entities who give punishment to the miscreants, and among them, Yama is the chief. Yama is situated in a planet near this earthly planet. After death, those who are very sinful are taken there, and Yama arranges various kinds of punishments for them. Text 30. Praladas chasmi daityanam kalak kalyatam maham mriganam chatmagindoham vainateyas chapakshinam. Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahlad. Among subduers, I am Time. Among beasts, I am the lion. And among birds, I am Garuda. Purport. Diti and Aditi are two sisters. The sons of Aditi are called Adityas, and the sons of Diti are called Daityas. All the Adityas are devotees of the Lord, and all of the Daityas are atheistic. Although Prahlad was born in the family of the Daityas, he was a great devotee from his childhood. Because of his devotional service and godly nature, he is considered to be a representative of Krishna. There are many subduing principles, but time wears down all things in the material universe, and so represents Krishna. Of the many animals, the lion is the most powerful and ferocious, and of the million varieties of birds, Garuda, the bearer of Lord Vishnu, is the greatest. Text 31. Pavanat pavatam asmi ramak shastra britam maham chasanam makaras chasmi shotasam asmi janavi. Of purifiers, I am the wind. Of the wielders of weapons, I am Rama. Of fishes, I am the shark. And of flowing rivers, I am the Ganges. Purport. Of all the aquatics, the shark is one of the biggest and certainly the most dangerous to man. Thus the shark represents Krishna. Text 32. Sarganam adirantascha madhyam cha bahamarjanam adyatma vidya vidyanam vadak pavadatam aham pravadatam aham. Of all creations, I am the beginning and the end, and also the middle, O Arjun. Of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self, and among logicians, I am the conclusive truth. Purport. Among the created manifestations, the first is the creation of the total material elements. As explained before, the cosmic manifestation is created and conducted by Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. And then again it is annihilated by Lord Shiva. Brahma is a secondary creator. All these agents of creation, maintenance, and annihilation are incarnations of the material qualities of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, He is the beginning, the middle, and the end of all creation. For advanced education, there are various kinds of books of knowledge, such as the four Vedas, their 6 supplements, the Vedanta Sutra, books of logic, books of religiosity, and the Puranas. So altogether, there are 14 divisions of books of education. Of these, the book which represents Adhyatma Vidya, spiritual knowledge, in particular, the Vedanta Sutra, represents Krishna. Among logicians, there are different kinds of argument, supporting one's argument with evidence that also supports the opposite side is called jalpa. Merely trying to defeat one's opponent is called vitanda, but the actual conclusion is called vada. This conclusive truth is a representation of Krishna. That's very interesting. I gotta repeat that again. This is logic. Among logicians, there are 3 kinds of argument. Supporting one's argument with evidence that also supports the opposite side is called jalpa. Merely trying to defeat one's opponent is called vitanda. But the actual conclusion is called vada. This conclusive truth is a representation of Krishna. Text 33. Aksharanam akadosmi dvandva samasikasya cha aham evakshaya kalo dataham vishvato mukaha. Of letters I am the letter A, and among compound words I am the dual compound. I am also inexhaustible time, and of creators I am Brahma. Purport. Akara, the first letter of the Sanskrit alphabet, is the beginning of the Vedic literature. Without akara, nothing can be sounded. Therefore, it is the beginning of sound. In Sanskrit, there are also many compound words, of which the dual word, like Rama Krishna, is called dvandva. In this compound, the words Rama and Krishna have the same form, and therefore the compound is called dual. Among all kinds of killers, time is the ultimate, because time kills everything. Time is the representative of Krishna, because in due course of time, there will be a great fire, and everything will be annihilated. Among the living entities who are creators, Brahma, who has 4 heads, is the chief. Therefore, he is a representative of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. Text 34. Mrityu sarvaharas chaham udbhavas cha bhavishyatam kritik shrir vaksana chanarinam smritir medha driti kshama. I am all-devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Purport. As soon as a man is born, he dies at every moment. Thus death is devouring every living entity at every moment. But the last stroke is called death itself. That death is Krishna. As for future development, all living entities undergo 6 basic changes. They are born, they grow, they remain for some time, they reproduce, they dwindle, and finally they vanish. Of these changes, the first is deliverance from the womb, and that is Krishna. The first generation is the beginning of all future activities. The 7 opulences listed, fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience, are considered feminine. If a person possesses all or some of them, he becomes glorious. If a man is famous as a righteous man, that makes him glorious. Sanskrit is a perfect language, and is therefore very glorious. If after studying one can remember a subject matter, he is gifted with good memory or smriti, and the ability not only to read many books on different subject matters, but to understand them and apply them when necessary is intelligence. Medha, another opulence. The ability to overcome unsteadiness is called firmness or steadfastness, driti. And when one is fully qualified, yet is humble and gentle, and when one is able to keep his balance, both in sorrow and in the ecstasy of joy, he has the opulence called patience, chama. Text 35. Brihat sama tatasamnam gayatri chandasamaham masanam margashir shoham ritunam kusumakaraha. Of the hymns in the Samaveda, I am the Brihat Sama, and of poetry I am the Gayatri. Of months I am Margashirsha, November, December, and of seasons I am flower-bearing spring. Purport. It has already been explained by the Lord that amongst all the Vedas, he is the Samaveda. The Samaveda is rich with beautiful songs played by the various demigods. One of these songs is the Brihat Sama, which has an exquisite melody and is sung at midnight. In Sanskrit, there are definite rules that regulate poetry. Rhyme and meter are not written whimsically, as in much modern poetry. Amongst the regulated poetry, the Gayatri Mantra, which is chanted by the duly qualified brahmanas, is the most prominent. The Gayatri Mantra is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Because the Gayatri Mantra is especially meant for God realization, it represents the Supreme Lord. This mantra is meant for spiritually advanced people, and when one attains success in chanting it, he can enter into the transcendental position of the Lord. One must first acquire the qualities of the perfectly situated person, the qualities of goodness, according to the laws of material nature, in order to chant the Gayatri Mantra. The Gayatri Mantra is very important in Vedic civilization and is considered to be the sound incarnation of Brahman. Brahma is its initiator, and it is passed down from him in disciplic succession. The month of November-December is considered the best of all months because in India, grains are collected from the fields at this time, and the people become very happy. Of course, spring is a season universally liked because it is neither too hot nor too cold, and the flowers and trees blossom and flourish. In spring, there are also many ceremonies commemorating Krishna's pastimes. Therefore, this is considered to be the most joyful of all seasons, and it is the representative of the Supreme Lord. Text 36. Duktam chalayatam asmi tejas tejasvivam maham jayosmi vyabhasayosmi sattvam sattvavatam aham. I am also the gambling of cheats, and of the splendid, I am the splendor. I am victory, I am adventure, and I am the strength of the strong. Purport. There are many kinds of cheaters all over the universe. Of all cheating processes, gambling stands supreme and therefore represents Krishna. As the Supreme, Krishna can be more deceitful than any mere man. The unfortunate commentator who wants to cheat Krishna and the public by saying that there is something greater than Krishna is cheated by Krishna. And the commentator cannot understand Krishna after a length of time, any length of time. If Krishna chooses to deceive a person, no one can surpass him in his deceit. His greatness is not simply one-sided, it is all-sided. Among the victorious, he is victory. He is the splendor of the splendid. Among the enterprising and industrious, he is the most enterprising and most industrious. Among adventurers, he is the most adventurous, and among the strong, he is the strongest. When Krishna was present on earth, no one could surpass him in strength. Even in his childhood, he lifted Govardhan Hill. No one can surpass him in cheating. No one can surpass him in splendor. No one can surpass him in victory. No one can surpass him in enterprise. And no one can surpass him in strength. Text 37. Vrishninam Vasudevosmi Pandavanam Dhananjayaha Muninam Apyaham Vyasak Kavinam Ushana Kavihi. Of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudev, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Of the sages, I am Vyas, and among great thinkers, I am Ushana. Purport. Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Baladev is Krishna's immediate expansion. Both Lord Krishna and Baladev appeared as the sons of Vasudev, so both of them may be called Vasudev. Oops. Does the book have a long A after the Vasudev in the third line? Haribo, wake up. Okay. Do you have?
Vasudev in the third line has a long A.
Right. It's not supposed to have a long A. Yours has a long A? Wait, the third line or the fourth line? Count them carefully.
Well, it says both Lord Krishna and Baladev appear.
Third line. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Yes, this is the third line.
I see, it depends on this is a different layout. That's the problem. Both Lord Krishna and Baladev appeared as sons of Vasudev, short A. So there was a mistake in this, but there's not a mistake in the book. Yeah, that means it was corrected. That means it got in.
The book is right.
Yeah, the book is right. That means it got in on the database because of moving over from one, software to another. So both of them may be called Vasudev. From another point of view, because Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, all the forms of Krishna that appear elsewhere are his expansions. Vasudeva is Krishna's immediate expansion. So Vasudeva is not different from Krishna. It is to be understood that the Vasudeva referred to in this verse of Bhagavad-Gita is Baladev or Balaram, because he is the original source of all incarnations, and thus he is the sole source of Vasudeva. The immediate expansions of the Lord are called Swangsha, personal expansions, and there are also expansions called Vibhinangsha, separated expansions. Amongst the sons of Pandu, Arjuna is famous as Dhananjaya. He is the best of men and therefore represents Krishna. Among the Munis, or learned men conversant in Vedic knowledge, Vyasa is the greatest because he explained Vedic knowledge in many different ways for the understanding of the common mass of people in this age of Kali. And Vyasa is also known as an incarnation of Krishna. Therefore, Vyasa also represents Krishna. Kavis are those who are capable of thinking thoroughly on any subject matter. Among the Kavis, Ushana Shukracharya was the spiritual master of the demons. He was an extremely intelligent and far-seeing politician. Thus, Shukracharya is another representative of the opulence of Krishna. Interesting. Text 38. Dando damayatam asmi nitir asmi jigishatam maunam chaivasmi guyanam jnanam jnanavatam maham. Among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment. And of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence. And of the wise, I am wisdom. Purport. There are many suppressing agents, of which the most important are those that cut down miscreants. When miscreants are punished, the agency of chastisement represents Krishna. Among those who are trying to be victorious in some field of activity, the most victorious element is morality. Among the confidential activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating, silence is most important, because by silence one can make progress very quickly. The wise man is he who can discriminate between matter and spirit, between God's superior and inferior natures. Such knowledge is Krishna himself. Text 39. Yachchapi sarvabhutanam bijam tad ahamarjuna natad asti vina yatsyan maya bhutam characharam. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without me. Purport. Everything has a cause, and that cause or seed of manifestation is Krishna. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist. Therefore, he is called omnipotent. Without his potency, neither the movable nor the immovable can exist. Whatever existence is not founded on the energy of Krishna is called Maya, that which is not. Text 40. Nantosti mabadidyanam vibhutinam parantapa eshat deshatak prakto vibhuter vistaro maya. Almighty conqueror of enemies, Almighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Purport. As stated in the Vedic literature, although the opulences and energies of the Supreme are understood in various ways, there is no limit to such opulences. Therefore, not all the opulences and energies can be explained. Simply a few examples are being described to Arjuna to pacify his inquisitiveness. Text 41. Yad yad vibhutimat satvam srimad arjutam eva va tat tat eva vagachatvam mamate jongshasam babam. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Purport. Any glorious or beautiful existence should be understood to be but a fragmental manifestation of Krishna's opulence, whether it be in the spiritual or material world. Anything extraordinarily opulent should be considered to represent Krishna's opulence. Text 42. Atava bahunaitena kim yatena tavarjana vishtabhyaham idam krishnam ekankshen astato jigat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Purport. The Supreme Lord is represented throughout the entire material universes by his entering into all things as the Supersoul. The Lord here tells Arjuna that there is no point in understanding how things exist in their separate opulence and grandeur. He should know that all things are existing due to Krishna's entering them as Supersoul. From Brahma, the most gigantic entity, on down to the smallest ant, all are existing because the Lord has entered each and all and is sustaining them. There is a mission that regularly propounds that worship of any demigod will lead one to the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the Supreme Goal. But worship of demigods is thoroughly discouraged herein because even the greatest demigods, like Brahma and Shiva, represent only part of the opulence of the Supreme Lord. He is the origin of everything. He is the origin of everyone born, and no one is greater than him. He is asamordva, which means that no one is superior to him, and that no one is equal to him. In the Padma Purana, it is said that one who considers the Supreme Lord Krishna in the same category with demigods, be they even Brahma or Shiva, becomes at once an atheist. If, however, one thoroughly studies the different descriptions of the opulences and expansions of Krishna's energy, then one can understand without any doubt the position of Lord Sri Krishna and can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. The Lord is all-pervading by the expansion of his partial representation, the Supersoul, who enters into everything that is. Pure devotees, therefore, concentrate their minds in Krishna consciousness in full devotional service. Therefore, they are always situated in the transcendental position. Devotional service and worship of Krishna are very clearly indicated in this chapter in verses 8 through 11. That is the way of pure devotional service. How one can attain the devotional perfection of association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been thoroughly explained in this chapter. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushana, a great acharya in disciplic succession from Krishna, concludes his commentary on this chapter by saying, Yach Chakti Leshat Suryadya Bhavan Yat Yugrate Jasaha Yarang Shena Dritam Vishwam Sa Krishno Dashamer Chute. From Lord Krishna's potent energy, even the powerful sun gets its power. And by Krishna's partial expansion, the whole world is maintained. Therefore, Lord Sri Krishna is worshipable. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 10th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad-Gita in the matter of opulence of the Absolute. Hare Krishna. So, I mean, even though it's not the personal energies, but it shows why we should worship Krishna. He's the greatness in everything. Why we worship him? Why we put him on the altar, except instead of demigods? So clear. I mean, if the Bible had this level of detail, it would be very powerful. So many things are the same, but it just doesn't have the detail. Especially for modern people who've got an internet and now they can. So many people know so much more than they did before. No? They need the Bhagavad-Gita. Okay, I'm going to save my voice now. I'm going to hope that there will be lots and lots of reflections. I'd like to take a break.
I always like when it says a victory and morality.
I thought of that one too. Struck me.
What I thought was, I was thinking about Dhritarashtra inquiring at the beginning of the Bhagavad-Gita, and we were reading the purports how he was inquiring to know what was going on, but he also had this feeling that it's a place of pilgrimage, and Duryodhana is Dhritarashtra is also spiritually blind, so he was feeling defeated already because the Pandavas are virtuous, and so I was thinking how morality is the factor that brings victory.
Nice, very nice. Very nice, thank you.
I always take the angle of enjoyment. It's my favorite angle when I think about Krishna consciousness, because it's kind of what I'm after. And so Prabhupada says that pure devotees enjoy hearing these descriptions, and it's like nectar.
Yeah.
So, but we're not supposed to be the enjoyers, we're supposed to serve Krishna without desires for enjoyment.
Remember that verse we read? Yehi sang sparsha jaboga. No, wrong. It's the wrong one. This was about yajnas in the 4th chapter.
Oh, Yoga Shishtasana.
No, that's in the 3rd chapter, or maybe the 2nd chapter.
Those who have tasted the results of the nectar of the results of sacrifice?
Yeah.
That was the verse.
Yepi siu, no. Yepi,
I don't know the second.
yepi jagya,
Oh.
I'm getting it. Yeah, it's 4th chapter, I think. Maybe somewhere around 30, 34, something like that. Yepi, jagya. Jagyibido is the last part of the line. It's right after that section where all the different kinds of sacrifice are described.
Oh, 9 locos teryagyasya?
No.
All different types of sacrifices. Sacrifices of ultimate transcendental knowledge.
Yeah, keep
Just try to learn the truth. Having attained
No,
real
it's before
knowledge.
that. It's before. Oh, no, wait. Yes, it's before that.
Yeah, okay. We'll find it.
Sarvim jani samyamya yahaste. No,
What does it start with?
I'm tired. Say that again.
What do you think it starts with?
Well, I thought I did. I thought I knew, but it's got the 3rd line has amrishta jagyasto. Amrita and jagya are hope I'm not in the wrong chapter.
But we just read it. Didn't we read it in chapter 9? Did we just read it?
No, I don't think so.
Amartanam Brahmanavira.
Give me the book. I think I know where it is. I think I know where it is. I will find it. Sarvye pyete jagyivido. Maybe that's what I said in the beginning. Sarve, text 30. Sarve pyete jagyivido. Jagya chapata kalmashaham. Jagya shist amrita bujo. Yanti brahma sanatanam. All these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice become cleansed of sinful reactions, and having tasted the nectar of the results of sacrifices, they advance toward the supreme eternal atmosphere. So to answer your question, or what you were wondering about, yes, the soul is an enjoyer. The nature of the soul is to enjoy. But we can't enjoy our senses, period. Or if we get some kind of shadow of real enjoyment, it just lasts temporary. So it's not real enjoyment. More or less, Prabhupada analyzed it as the temporary cessation of the overriding suffering that the material world is. So, but if you sacrifice, that means if you give something for the satisfaction of someone else or something else, then you taste that nectar, as described here. Yagya shist amrito ta pujo. The result of such performance of yagya, amrita, is nectar. So you get nectar. It's like a little child. You know, they immediately want to come and do something to help. Most of them. You know. And they like it. They get when they're pure. Well, they're not really pure. They've got those little desires in there, but they're not able to come out yet because the body isn't ready for it. you know. But they get pleasure by helping. They see the mother doing something important, they want to do that, and they get pleasure from that, naturally. So that's the sense, I think.
So when we hear Bhagavatam,
That's the supreme sacrifice. Mahamantra, supreme sacrifice. So that gives the highest pleasure. But even that, if we're not doing it for the right reason, if we're not pure, if we're not moral, spiritually moral. Because even Yudhishthira had to see hell for a few seconds because he, refused to tell a lie because he was moral. So there's a difference between mundane morality and transcendental morality. Transcendental morality means that which pleases Krishna's senses. Therefore, some people who are mundanely moral criticize Krishna, condemn him for his, transcendental activities with the gopis and other things. Killing so many people, whatever. Right?
Yeah, I actually threw out a book that was on the bookshelf because this author, whose name I won't mention, this person was, he criticized Prabhupada for various reasons,
Yeah.
That were ridiculously material.
Yeah.
Any new bhakta would have been able to
See through it. Yeah, see through it.
And then he criticized Lord Krishna for destroying the lives of these poor village women. And I thought, that's almost like a backhanded glorification, but you're such a demon, I'm throwing your book out. No, so, yeah. People have a mundane interpretation of Krishna's personality.
Yeah.
And they don't realize he's the source of the sun
Yeah.
and the Himalayas are
Yeah.
a mere reflection of his
Yeah.
stability.
Correct.
we've really gotten mercy to be able to see Krishna.
Speak a little louder.
We've really gotten the mercy from Srila Prabhupada to be able to see in the correct way Lord Krishna.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Isn't it kind of, so when reading these things, I was especially thinking when he said, I'm of the Pandavas, I'm Arjuna,
Yeah.
that you can almost take in personalist, like it's really easy to take this in personalist view of things.
Why?
He's saying all these, that I'm all these things, and yet not really.
Well, he said it in the beginning of the chapter. This is how persons who are not advanced enough to accept Krishna as a person who can understand the greatness of his creation.
So I've never actually, I love it when you're reading because sometimes I hear things that I've just never heard before, even though I did read that part, but I just didn't hear it. So does this correspond to in the second canto of Bhagavatam where
Yes.
the universal form is
Yes.
described? Okay.
Yes. Exactly.
Same kind of idea.
Same.
It's for neophyte spiritualists to get an
Yes.
idea of what God is like.
Because everything is in the Gita.
Uh,
Everything is in the Gita. But at the end he says, forget all that. Just surrender to me. Wait a second, I just read this whole book and now all of a sudden you're telling me forget it all. But it's just because of that, because all kinds of people are there and there's something there that can attract everybody. Unfortunately, the people who are like that, they have a tendency to interpret. That's why he doesn't give so much information about his personalities in Goloka Vrindavan, in the Gita. Because it's the beginning, it's to set the stage for the Bhagavatam. Prabhupada used to say the Bhagavatam starts off where the Bhagavad-Gita leaves off. because then it gets into the personal aspect, the details of the personal aspect of Krishna. Just see, it takes 18,000 verses to describe that, you know.
So the Bhagavatam starts with an assumption that we're surrendering to Supreme Lord.
Well, the first verse,
Right.
I just reread the first verse to Denny last night. Danny, no,
Manny.
Manny,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry. Somebody else met him, Padma. He met, because
Yes.
he's regular at the restaurant.
Yes.
She really thought it was a, live wire.
I have a question. Why would he say of the Pandavas Arjuna instead of Yudhishthira?
Why would Krishna say of the Pandavas, I am Arjun, rather than Yudhishthira? Because Yudhishthira didn't do one thing that he told him to do, to tell a lie.
Well, so he's talking to Arjuna.
Well, he's his friend and everything, but that's not, this is the point. Every one of them had kind of like some kind of defect that showed up. Bhima got so angry, Balaram came and said, look, why don't you guys, him and Duryodhana were duking it out with a club at the end of the Battle of Kurukshetra, And they were Bhima was so ferocious and so, revengeful that even Balaram, who's Krishna, not different than Krishna, he said, please, why don't you just the battle's won already, so let's just, boom, boom.
So that was considered a fault on Bhima's part?
Yeah, and Sadev and, it's a fault, but this is a very high level of comparison that's being made. Yeah, yeah.
Arjuna is the best service attitude.
Yeah, and he won the battle practically, and killed all the really important warriors.
What about Nakula and Sahadev?
They were young.
Okay.
They were young. They were inferior because they were young, considered inferior because they were young. Whenever Krishna went to greet them, they would bow down at his feet. Arjuna would embrace him, and the others, Krishna would pay obeisances to them. So that's another aspect of why he's remembered as the chief of the.
Because he was the one, he was equal to Krishna
Yeah.
in the family relationship.
Yeah, he was friendliest. He was the most affectionate. Oh, most affectionate on an equal level. He was Krishna's cousin. And if we just learn these books, all the answers are there. We don't have to imagine and make something up. And there's enough of it that, it satisfies your intelligence completely. Okay. I'm going to stop early tonight. Don't mind. My body's starting to feel that it's a little bit, going over the line, and that's why this is happening. I have certain symptoms I'm not rested enough. And because of this thing I just went through, I'm supposed to rest more or extra for some time until I get full strength. I feel healthy. I'm not sick, but I'm not there yet completely.
Well, thank you for another ecstatic reading.
Statue of Liberty. Who needs a chair?